This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association. Your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley Smith.
Good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Wednesday, January 10th, 2024. We are back in the office after a bit of a snow day yesterday. Hopefully everybody stayed warm and safe through that storm. In today's episode of Ag Matters PM, I talk with folks at Great Plains about vertical tillage technology and their partnership with Bayer's Foreground program. We also have a check of that ag weather outlook, but first let's run down the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day in the ag marketplace, we're here with Tyler Schau of agmarket.net. Tyler, first off, how did those grain markets look today?
Corn and wheat just pretty flat, kind of traded both sides unchanged. Corn's going to trade down just a little bit, wheat up slightly. Beans took a little bit on the chin, down 10 cents in January. That's in delivery, so down 13 cents in March. Not a whole lot of news out there. CONAB did come in and came out with their updated projections at 155 million metric tons of soybean, which is below where they were and below where the USDA is at like 161. But nowhere near, as low as some of the private analysts. That might be weighing on the bean market. The fact that the official government reports out of Brazil didn't come down and lower those production numbers quite as much.
And then, of course, kind of speaking of what's going on down in Brazil, they've had those nice rains recently to kind of help out the planting of the crop. But then, now we're getting to harvest period for that soybean crop, and all of a sudden, all this rain is starting to potentially become a limiting factor. So, are the markets kind of, waiting to factor that in yet? Because obviously, we don't have any data to go off of to show that there has been an impact yet.
Yeah, that's kind of our approach. I mean, remember a couple things. One, in 2016, they had a drought in Brazil. It took until February, March before the market was really able to digest the amount of damage that was done to that crop. So it's probably going to take some time. Add to that, just take a look at the U.S. weather this last year. We were incredibly dry here in the U.S. There in Iowa, you were dry. You still are dry, minus some snow here this week. But for the most part, we still ended up growing a decent crop of soybeans. So it kind of feels like this market, the funds especially, are kind of saying, hey, prove that there's a production problem down there, and then we'll buy it. So there might be a little bit of time lag if there is a production issue and we do see it come to fruition. It might be a little bit, this rally that forms out of it might be a little bit lagging. And then that's kind of the thought from a few of the weather people out there, is that these rains that we're receiving, or that they're receiving in Brazil now, are actually, might not be all that beneficial. For one, the early planted stuff, it's too late for. They're harvesting some of that, or already have harvested, and those yields were pretty short. And then the stuff that maybe got planted a little bit late, they're actually trying to go in and harvest that now. So the rains might actually be more of a detriment as we move forward than actually help bolster that crop.
And then looking at the livestock side of things, how did that marketplace perform today?
You had feeder cattle up about $1. This market, there's been some really stiff resistance. If you take a look at the March feeder calf contract, there is a 50-day moving average just about 226.2, and we just can't get a close above that. We closed the day at 226.12.5 in the March contract. So that 50-day, we have toyed with that pretty much every day for the last 6 trading days, and just can't seem to get over it. If we get a close over that, I think that would open up the upside for the feeder calf market. I think the market's trying to figure out how this weather is going to affect cattle production and slaughter. I know there was a couple plants in Kansas that were actually closed today. I'm guessing slaughter is going to be well behind, which is going to back some stuff up, which is going to kind of pressure feeder cat or fat cattle prices. So we're just stuck in a range. It feels like really for nearly the last three to 4 weeks, and fat and feeder cattle. We just haven't been able to break through some of that resistance. Support's been holding down below us. So I still contend we're going to move through either the resistance or the support here relatively soon. And my bias, I guess, right now is to the upside.
And then, of course, just in general, we've heard a lot of rumblings about the outlooks for the cattle and the hog markets for the year. Cattle potentially not looking as good. Pork prices maybe looking a little better, but just in general, for kind of the way that maybe producers should approach that, should they be looking for any sort of profits to take right now? Should they kind of hunker down and go through the storm? What would be your advice there?
For the cattle producer, um, we're actively laying off some risk for especially our cow calf producers or guys that are buying yearling calves that they're going to stick out to pasture this summer. We're going out and laying into some hedges, buying LRP, buying put options, that type of stuff for your back month, August, September, October, November contracts. Fat cattle feeders, looking at kind of the same strategy, using LRP and put options. Uh, a lot of times, when we run the numbers, worst case scenario with those put options or LRPs, we're not going to make a lot of money. We might just barely break even. That doesn't always excite the producer, but at the end of the day, with these high levels of prices that you got to pay to put cattle in the feedlot or put them out on grass, I'm not really worried about the markets falling and just breaking even. I'm worried about the markets falling and losing a few $100 a head, maybe even $500-600 a head. That could be very bad to the bottom line of the business. Looking at ways to manage risk, you know, leaving the upside open in case we do get some rallies. We know in the cattle market, we've got historically tight supplies, and we just don't know how that's going to play out as we move forward.
Lots of great information today, Tyler. For those of our listeners and viewers who would like to get in touch and learn more from the folks at agmarket.net, how can they do that?
Look us up on the internet, agmarket.net. If you want to call me directly, the number 701-987-6009.
Great talking with you as always, Tyler. Looking forward to hearing from you again soon, and stay warm as winter has finally kind of approached this part of the country.
Will do. You too.
That again was Tyler Schau of agmarket.net. We'll take a look at how those markets closed through the market window at iowaagnet.com.
March corn up 1/4 cent at 4.59 and a half. March soybeans down 12 even at 12.36 and a half. March soybean meal down 3.30 at 3.64.30. Soybean oil down 20 cents at 48.25. Chicago wheat up 3/4 cent at 6.10 3/4. Kansas City hard red wheat down 2 1/2 at 6.24 and a half. Minneapolis spring wheat up 2 1/4 at 7.07 3/4. March oats up 6 even at 3.85 and a half. On the Merc, February live cattle down 2 cents at 170.75. January feeders up 85 cents at 224.62. February lean hogs up 20 cents at 72.07. February pork cutout down 35 at 85.40. And January class 3 milk down 6 cents at 15.19.
And that's been a check of the markets here on Ag Matters PM. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association, and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, I talk with folks at Great Plains Manufacturing about Bayer's foreground program. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Well, we know that agriculture technology is always improving, and that's true in the tillage side of things as well. Had the chance to visit with some of the folks at Great Plains about their vertical tillage technology, the benefits of that, as well as their partnership with Bayer's foreground program.
Well, we are here at the NAFB Convention Trade Talk session in Kansas City, Missouri, and we are talking with some of the folks at Great Plains. Now, you guys are partnered with Bayer for their foreground program, which is helping producers to get into the sustainable ag practices, find the ones that fit them the best. So first off, James, if you could tell us just a little bit about that partnership with Bayer and the foreground program in general and how that kind of fits in with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the whole regenerative sustainability trends in the market are fairly mystifying to some customers. And we know that from Great Plains' perspective, we've actually been one of the leaders, one of the four leading forward in a lot of the aspects of regenerative since the 80s, with a no-till soybean drill going into hard no-till applications in the Corn Belt. We were one of the first to really say there's a better way to do things and maintain that soil health. And then in 2002, introducing the turbo-till really as a solution, high volume corn, as you get into more of the BT corn, more of the heavy stocks, what am I going to do with that residue but not get into a heavy disking plowing situation that's going to degrade my soil health? So came out with the turbo-till and now the Turbo Max and then eventually the Terra Max, really to provide those vertical solutions to manage and size your residue while maintaining your soil health, maximizing those yields. So we were one of the first, and as we looked at the landscape out there, it was really Bayer. It was one of the leaders in developing that carbon market, having that trend and that path for producers to transition to a more sustainable practice, but also then to get into the revenue stream from the carbon markets. They were looking for partners. We were looking for, again, the same thing in terms of partnerships of how can we promote products and solutions in a better path. And so with that relationship that we signed last year with Bayer, it's really, we're an advisor. We're providing solutions. And that's how it started off, in a bit of a co-marketing agreement, really to help educate the producers, educate our customers on both sides of the fence into what is the paths to get into a more sustainable practices. We've been in the market, as we say, harvest starts here, since 1976, and providing these regenerative solutions since the 80s and really continuing to build off of that. But now what we can do with Bayer is provide a more marketed package. They can provide the resources that we can't in terms of the carbon markets. We can provide the agronomists and the agronomic solutions that they can't. So we're actually expanding that relationship this year to get into more co-studies, co-field trials, really to better understand where's the industry going to go in terms of the carbon solutions. Because selfishly, we want to make sure that the producer understands that tillage is an integral part of that sustainable solution. If you don't reset your profile, if you don't put some type of management practices, yes, it will have some release of carbon, but if you can increase that overall biomass, your total carbon capture throughout the system is going to be that much better. Because it's all about balancing soil health with productivity and doing it in a cost-effective manner. And so that's what we do. And so that partnership is going to create more product solutions. It's going to create more studies to support and help transition those solutions. So we're really looking forward to on how it's going to evolve over the next couple of years. And really, our goal is to help shape it to where these paths to sustainability in the carbon markets best fit our market, Bayer's market, but also provides the best solutions for those producers.
Well, and those paths can be a little intimidating sometimes because we know some of these farmers really are making a big change to their operation to be able to get these practices on their farms. So, Tony, if you could tell us a little bit about some of the programs that are available through Foreground and through that partnership that producers can start to take a look at, get those on their farms, and kind of use that as a gateway into sustainable ag.
Sure. Thanks, Riley. The Foreground program gives the customers a great set of resources to figure out what fits on their farm. We don't want to be the one that is prescribing you have to do this or you have to do that. It's this tillage or it's that tillage or this cover crop or not. We have the solutions from an equipment standpoint to no matter what they want to do. So, our box drills is where our company started. Whether it was no-till drills in the 80s or the original wheat belt drill, we've expanded that, continue to build the technology into variable rate seeding, any type of seed that you need to plant from a cover crop standpoint, from a a cash crop standpoint, we've got those equipment solutions, and also from a tillage standpoint, we can help the producer have the best soil profile in order to grow his yields and be profitable, both with the cash crop side and the sustainability side in the carbon markets.
Well, that's something very important. I think that's a good topic of discussion when it comes to these carbon market and sustainability is that, yes, it's, for the grand effort of, being sustainable, improving that soil health, but like you just mentioned, that increases the profitability for the farmer. So it's, it's kind of a win-win-win scenario where you're benefiting the environment, you're increasing your profits, and you're just making the whole operation run a little smoother, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You covered all the bases there from being profitable as a farmer, and also preserving the soil and preserving the farm for the generations to come.
Now, James, of course, you guys mentioned that you've been, you're not new to the sustainable ag and the sustainability side of things. So to kind of see things change and how it's grown, especially with this foreground program, it's really kind of getting, the sustainability discussion at the forefront of farming. So, how has it been to kind of see that evolve and get that more on the minds of farmers?
Well, as you mentioned, there's always that risk aversion to change. What's it going to do to my yields? What's it going to do to my profitability? That's our goal, is we want to provide solutions, but we want to do it in such a manner that there's an education path with it. Yes, we want to sell product. Yes, we want to provide solutions to the growers, but we have to make them comfortable. We have to be their partner in this, and that's the hallmark of Great Plains, is providing solutions that we stand behind, not only from a service and support and warranty, but also from a knowledge base. We're going to prove it to you that this adds value to your operation. And so that's our goal, is to continue to provide solutions, just like our mission statement said, is it's number one about customers, is how can we provide that best partnership and value to them. As we look forward, it's really going to be then, where does technology come into play? How can we continue to add solutions like implement command system, where you can get towards that control and optimization on the go from the cab, get that quality of output and a consistency with lesser skilled operators. That's where it's going to go forward, because the need to understand what you applied, when you applied, how you performed an operation, and record that and report that will become more and more critical. And that's areas that we're going to continue to promote and push forward, not obstinately, but with the producers, to provide that value and show them the interest and the value to it.
And of course, then, that's a big thing of getting it implemented, is what is this going to look like to get this implemented on my farm? So Tony, if you could tell us a little bit about just how these products might fit into that operation, and through foreground would be able to kind of ease them into that sustainability and increasing that production.
I mean, with foreground, for the producer now, what Great Plains can offer is centered around our drills today. I mean, we've got an opportunity for them to get a discount on a drill as a foreground member, and using that research that's available to them to get into the cover crops if in the proper way for their own farm. So that's one way, and that James mentioned our technology and implement command on our tillage tools is one thing, but then also we have drill command on our drills. So we've continued to advance the technology. It's not the same old box drill that we had in the 80s. I mean, we have the technology for hydraulic drive and variable rate, multiple products at one time. The things you don't think of with a box drill is now available in a box drill that is easy for an operator to use on his farm.
All right, lots of great information today, guys. James, is there anything else that needs to be added for this discussion today? And of course, how can those farmers get in touch with Great Plains and kind of get started on that sustainability conversation?
No, absolutely. So we have a tremendous dealer network out there. We're represented by some of the best brands, whether it be the Deere channels, the Case IH channels, New Holland channels, AGCO, and our short lines. Is look out for the dealers. But if you can get that information, www.greatplainsag.com, it'll give you access to our full product portfolio, talk about our agronomic solutions, plus give you those links to some of the dealers in your areas. So check them out. Come see us.
All right, James, thanks for taking the time to visit with us today.
Thanks, Riley. Appreciate it.
That again was the latest on vertical tillage technology from the folks at Great Plains. Let's go ahead and take a look at that ag weather outlook. A lot of us just got out of the issues from that pretty big snowstorm that went through the state. I know in Ankeny we got 9.5 inches, and it does seem that a lot of central Iowa got around that total. So quite a bit of snow on the ground at this point. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how much you like snow, looks like there could be more this afternoon into this evening and even into tomorrow. And then looking past that, another winter storm watch in some parts of the state for this weekend. So winter has finally arrived, I think we can say. So let's see what the National Weather Service has in store for the next 24 hours.
As you can see from the National Weather Service, that snow is sticking around for a bit longer across much of the state. Today we have snow likely once again across the state, the highs ranging from the upper teens to low 30s. Tonight that snowfall will continue, and then it will give way to mostly cloudy skies. Lows overnight ranging from the single digits to about 19. And tomorrow will be partly sunny, then a chance for snow in the west, and in fact there is a winter storm watch in the southwest, highs ranging from the low teens to upper 20s. And taking a look at the affiliate weather map for tomorrow, Cherokee will be partly cloudy and a chance for snow, a high of 11 degrees. Shenandoah, same weather there, partly cloudy, chance for snow, and in fact they have that winter storm watch as well, high of 23. Des Moines, partly cloudy, high of 18. Waterloo, mostly sunny, high of 22. Albia, partly cloudy, high of 24. And Clinton will see mostly cloudy skies with a high of 27.
For a more detailed forecast in your part of the state, make sure to check in with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. That's been a check of the Ag Weather Outlook, and that also brings us to the end of this episode of Ag Matters PM. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on social media at Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and TikTok. You can find our video content as well as previous episodes of AMPM on our YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell to see when those videos go live. Don't forget as well our free Twice Daily Market podcast on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Mark Magnuson, Dustin Huffman, and Andy Peterson, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.